On a Monday at the beginning of April, 512 brave souls venture into the Link to the Past Randomizer pit with the hopes of moving on and joining the fray in a 128-person bracket coming up next month. We welcome you to the Link to the Past Randomizer Spring Tournament Swiss Pairing Selection Race. Try saying that twice as fast. I'm Adirondack Rick, being joined by Hervey Durfee. We have 512 names that we're going to be searching for in the world of Hyrule. Give us some details how we're going to be doing this, Hervey.
So, hello guys, first and foremost, we are seeing here, this will be a race, quote unquote, between our friends Willard J. Bradley and EdgeNet174, aka Ben. As you can see, the hashes at the top are not matching up as we're used to, don't worry about that. We are going to be selecting our Swiss pairings as the race is already called, and we're doing that by picking up tickets. And whatever two names you see consecutively on screen, regardless of which runner picks up two names in a row, those two will make our pairs. And yeah, we'll hopefully have everyone paired up and nice and ready to go by the end of this.
Are they going to be sweet pairs?
I sure hope so.
Are they going to be tangy?
I like tangy. I hope we can avoid salty pairs, but probably not completely.
Well, we can't. Elminster's in this tournament.
Oh yeah, okay. All bets are off if that guy's in here.
So, 512 people are in this tournament. Now, we're going to add some places. Like, for instance, we're going to be adding some take any's that you get in the retro mode. Because obviously, as some people are pointing out, 256 is more than the normal 216 items you get in this game.
That is very true. And what that means is that we added some locations. Well, not we personally, unfortunately, but our wonderful devs did. First and foremost, I believe VTorp was responsible for making these two seeds.
Yeah, a lot of prompts to the admin team here, well, of our crew here. So one thing to know is that this race is going to be the standard. This tournament is going to be standard mode. Here comes the name we find is Dark Shadows, and then Nail.
Yep, so there's our first pairing already, right in Link's chest. As we can see, we've got Team Red versus Team Blue here. We're Willard in the red and Ben in the blue male. As far as I'm aware... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, please note, though, we are going to be giving these guys some weapons to begin this game, because here's the thing. They're not going to get through the remainder of this game without it. Allo 41 taking on McLagan.
There's our pairing number 2, and as you can see, each name has a little number at the top of the ticket once they pick it up, so we will be able to follow everything. There we go. Kipasagi versus Problems IRL.
So we've got 3 pairings already. As they're making their way into the castle, just a reminder, Dark Shadows, Nally, LL41, McGoggin, Problems IRL versus Kipsagi.
Yep, already down to 3 pairings here. Only a couple more to go.
Downstairs these guys go, and we'll probably get name number 4 coming up right now. You notice they're going to come in with a key as well. Gemini versus Caladress.
Alright, we're making our way down to Zelda. Standard escape route, usually not quite blessed with so many awesome items as we see here. I'm sure every standard runner is very jealous right now, but we're looking for tickets and not for items.
Yagamoth taking on Dragon Master.
Ooh, that's a good matchup.
Just a reminder about this tournament here. We do have 12 people you're not going to be seeing, but we'll see them later on in this tournament. They're the people who got auto-qualified because they did some great things in this last tournament, the Open tournament, to get them pre-qualified. And Gembro taking on Drunken Draconian. That's a good match.
Very nice. And just to inform everyone, all these names are obviously randomized, so nobody is aware of which names are going to be popping up in here. Just to, prevent any speculation of the first names in Escape or so being more or less predetermined already. Nobody has any idea which names are going to be popping up.
Yeah, we all saw what Willard did to Zelda, that rude guy. He's bad. Couch 23. Name number 7 for Ben, and number 7 for Willard turns out to be Pokefan.
Pokefan 213 here at the end of Escape in the Dark Sewers chest. The next one is going to be a little bit of a challenge, since we're going to be seeing 3 names pop up in short order, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to make it tough for us coming up here. Hopefully Ben is going to slow down so we can get these names, but he's going to get these in order. Ben will be seeing Korea taking on
And SAGTG taking on L-Buddy. Clifford taking on Shadow B5. Alright, that was that's gonna making the matchups a little interesting depending on when these guys are actually picking up the tickets.
Yeah, because here's what's gonna end up happening is these guys are going to split up on the routes. There's the boomerang for Ben.
Red boomerang. Exactly what we were looking for.
Willard getting Phoenix down. So now this is where things are going to get interesting here. There's going to be route changes here as Ben goes off because he's got everything he needs to deal with the Aghanim. And Willard's going to be giving us some names real soon.
Yep, and don't forget there is 2 chests in here, so we're going to see a name from Ben in a second.
This is the one who's taking on... He's taking on Phoenix down.
Let's see who else we're hiding here in Aghanim's tower on Ben's side. Keep in mind, obviously, both these guys have different names here, so once Willard makes his way up Hyrule Castle Tower here, he will be finding different names. And it's Jax Raffi.
So the next name Willard gets is going to be his opponent, and that's JJ Blue.
Jax Raffi versus JJ Blue. Let's see who's the unfortunate soul who has a soggy name this time around on Willard's side.
Not going to be able to find out who that's going to be until he leaves Swamp.
Oh, has a little mirror portal there. Yep, we're heading into Swamp first.
So, as you can see, Willard has a key. Therefore, he's going to pull up a name here. That name is Viper King.
And coming right up on his next name.
So Viper King is going to be facing off this next name, and that turns out to be Mally. So we got a little bit of time here before we find out the next name. Dark Shadow's taking on now LO41 taking on Megalagan, Problems IRL taking on Keepsagi, Gemini taking Calidress, Yagamoth, Dragon Maska, Dragon Draconian, and Gembro. I like that match.
Yeah, there's been a couple of good matchups already, even though we're still very early in the seed. But as you can see, these guys are having no trouble picking up all the chests that they want. With all the equipment available right from the start, not exactly a challenge.
Couch 23, Pokefan, Zapprod versus Korea. That's another good match right there. So the next name we'll against is going to be the number 1 of our next pairing. And that name is Carter Freak. By the way, Herfy, I don't know. Did we have a name over at the big chest? Benton's about to pick up a name right here, and that name is going to be Raja, like the tiger.
Like the tiger?
So who? All right, well, we do get that name. Paul Lloyd was the big chest. That's the one who's taking on Carter Freak.
Oh, nice.
Much appreciated for the information here as Ben goes and checks to see what this potion shop has, as well as checks the left-hand side and...
Wow, did you hear
nice
about that?
Cute man. I did not hear about this.
News to me.
But the next name coming up here for Raja, that's Rocket Racer. Willard picks up a name. That's Vash.
All right, who will he be facing? Willard going to be picking up his opponent in just a second there. Hyrule? Oh man, I apologize in advance for every name I'm gonna butcher during this broadcast.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be butchering a whole bunch of names during the course of this as well. And my apologies to everybody who I do butcher. 512 names, some of these guys to the randomizer community, see them here in the randomizer community, but I don't know how to pronounce your names. I'm gonna do my best to try to sound right, but I can't guarantee it here as Ben checks who's at the Quakefish for Ben. Ben gets his next name. The next name, Ultimate Develve.
I think that was Ultimate Dave Live, even though it was kind of hard to read.
That could be.
And that's Firewood King versus ZZZ Cube.
Actually, no, Firewood King gets Ultimate Dave. Raikou Rider's the one who's singing on ZZZ King.
Oh, I apologize.
Undersky, the next pairing here, that's going up against Nox.
Let's see what King Zora has for us. Belmont visiting us here in Hyrule from Castlevania.
All right, what's on the Zora Ledge? The Zora Ledge is going to be James Phoenix. Or FNX, whatever it is.
Meanwhile, Willard making short work of Argus.
Don't forget, these are the week 1 pairings that we're getting to. Roger like the Tiger, Rocket Racer, Vash, Hyrule, Ultimate Dave, Live, Firewood King, ZZZ King, Raikou Rider, Nox versus Undersky, Belmont, James FNX. Those were the latest names. What did we get at Argus?
Argus dropped the name ZTAC22 for us.
Now, don't forget you got a name there at the end of the swamp there, Willard. Who's a soggy mess? Tovad.
All right, Tovad. And we're grabbing a fish. Oh no, that archer making short work of Willard's plan.
That seems fishy. Now, for these runners here, they will have to go until they get all 256 names that they have. Android 412 is in the King's Tomb. And Android will be facing off against Looney Cloud 87.
Ben deciding he wants to finish off everything here in the graveyard. Probably a good idea.
Well, they're finding out that his flute's not activated.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that. No flute for you.
All right, Sir Link-A-Lot. Next name found is the opponent here for Sir Link-A-Lot as Willard heads on over towards the mini mobile. We're going to probably find it from Ben first, depending on who can actually get. Well, if Ben keeps falling, or Willard keeps falling down the holes, it's going to be Ben first.
And it was Ben
is.
first.
Sell.
All right, now we're coming up on a bunch of names. We've got John Rossums versus Neanosaur. Ooh, we got Chelsea versus Proeo7. Jesus. We got Miria Chan versus someone that Ben has to pick up first.
Yeah, Sir Link-A-Lot versus Cell, John Rosem versus Mynra, Chelsea versus Poria 007, Mira Chan. The next name coming up. And that name for Miria Chan is Curse Dither, or whatever that is.
Look like Cursed Ether to me, maybe.
And Willard getting Mr. Barry Bonds, the Gatorade man. And over here, Aghanim results in Geeky Fried Rice. That's a good match.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Hobo gets us a ticket. That ticket is going to be Pink Kitty Rose. Pink Kitty Rose faces off against Ganon Wild.
There's Jeremy Trammer facing off against the last name here in the Take All shop for Ben. It's unknown availability.
Some good matchups here.
Yeah, so far I'm really liking this seating. I'm still a little panicky about my name coming up at any point, but
same here. Ben's coming across another take Annie here, and Ben's gonna pull up Zelda Disan.
And Tadaru, who's the last name in here? Juveling.
So Zelda Desan versus Tadaru, and Yuga Ling will be getting the next name coming up that one of these runners finds. Willard is going to go visit the Palace of Darkness as Ben pops into Blind's hut. And the first name up, Yoveling will be facing off against Pachu. Hi, 24. Facing off against Silent Basilisk. Basilisk, rather.
Ooh, and Chauncey J versus Files. That sounds like a good matchup as well. Looks like Willard wasn't too happy about the name he just found, but here we get Refurb over on Ben's side.
Don't worry, I'm writing these names down as fast as I can so I can recap them when we get a few moments to do so. Hey, you found this tile. You should screenshot and send it to Vitor. Vitor's going to get his name all over the place here. Refurb's going to be facing off against Swerb.
Ooh, Swerb, another big name.
That's right. The numbers do not mean anything. It's just a counter for these guys. Shenzi Koden.
I think that was an A. There's Duke Firebird versus Captain Neil. That's a weird way to write Captain.
I think they were trying to go with Captain Tennille. Joey Mittens. Be facing off against Dat Losset.
M. Kosler will be facing off against whatever name we find next here.
So, Joey Mittens, Dat Losset, Duke Firebird, Captain Neil, Jancy Cohen versus Rides, Refurb versus Swerb. Next name's coming up. M. Kosler's waiting on to find out who they face. And that's going to be right in here. And that is going to be against Ultima.
And here we got Jixton versus DL Darklink.
By the way, I do want to point out that the numbers that you are seeing with the tickets are not anything to do with who they face off against. The whole purpose about the numbers is a note to these guys. They have to find all 256 names.
Yeah, and then we got Michael K. And even though we have no doubts in their abilities, we really hope that they're not going to end up missing one or two names at the end that they forgot.
I really hope that doesn't happen. 8 o'clock's going to be long if that's the case, and we're going to go see what the bottle kit has.
We got Manic Ascendant.
And Freddy. I remember that name from the spring tournament last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's going bomb strats on this Helmassar.
Yeah, showing off his swag a little bit. Doing pretty fine so far.
So I used to think I had to kill him as a kid. It was so annoying in that fight.
Yeah, bomb strat on Helmassar King is no fun.
Now we're going to go and find the next name. Freddy's going to be facing off against Levon Firestorm.
Alright, who's stuck in the library? It is Weighty Words.
Well, that's kind of where you want to find weighty words.
Yeah, that's strangely fitting.
No, don't use up all your bombs, Willard, before you run out.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to find out who Weighty Words finds out, and that is locked behind. Ben's going to get this one first, and that is going to be... Oh, hey, it's David. Slim Kirby, the next name. We'll find out who he faces downstairs. And Spiffers the Grand.
There's Sonic Cam facing off against In the Name of DT. And the last name in here is Carcat, one of our devs.
And he faces Winded. So the last four pairings, Weighty Words versus Oh Hey, it's David. Slim Curvy versus Spiffers the Grand. Sonic Cam versus In the Name of DT. That's going to be a good matchup. Car Camp versus Winded.
Mm-hmm.
And Royal Shove.
Yeah, I couldn't quite read that. That was a little too fast from Willard there.
Facing off again. Spiff Compato. Sapphire Compato.
Yep, and Willard just picking up NY Rambler. And he'll be facing off against Sir Beater of Arse.
Okay, we got next Cap Moza facing off against Giselle Shaft.
Joe and Hitaka facing off against Evil Sparky 1. Zunker to the rescue versus Saya Dawn here on Willard's side.
Record 22.
Yep. Ooh, and Mernco versus Argyle XD.
These are going by so fast, I can't keep up with them at this point.
Yeah, we've really starting to hit the mother load here. Looks like Willard immediately going into Eastern while Ben wants to check some more overworld stuff. Let's see what C-Shaped House has. It's Trojan Dude 12 versus Dr. Bobtastic.
One of our commentary partners there for the fall tournament, as well as in Key Sanity. Good to see him continuing to play. Next up, we have Murphy 0749. And Murphy faces off against A6. And Love Lupin C, I believe that's the name.
I think that was Level Up Inc.
Or that could be Level Up Inc. I don't know.
I'm just guessing here.
We're just guessing along here. Level Up Inc. Yep. They're facing up against Saber Wolf. I can read that name.
Yeah, that's a good one. Listen, guys, next time you want to show up in a revealed stream, please pick an easy name. Stop teasing us, Ben. It's Mr. Zwanzik versus Kid of Seth, I believe.
Yeah, that's the pairing. Thank you, Ben, for making it a little more stressful for the person who's trying to write down quick notes so he can refer to them later.
Typical Ben. Alright, Ben bashing down some hammer packs with a frog and cow while Willard is checking the vanilla big key chest here in Eastern and finds Emerald 000. Where's this Grand Pooh Bear, the man we just saw in chat?
Emerald 00 versus Grand Pooh Bear. That's going to be interesting.
Alright, what does the frog have for us?
He's going to have a name.
Very true. And that
It's
name
gonna
is
be
Hexmage.
How many pairings have we seen so far?
I'm trying to figure out from the number that shows up on the tickets. I think we're in the 40s or 50s now. So
We're up to 115 names according to our tracker and helper, Dude.
all right, so that means we've got around 60-ish matchups, not quite.
Yeah, that's 52 pairings. Make this 57. 57, yeah, something like that. Sharky's the next name.
Mm-hmm. And versus...
No, that's actually against Hexmaze. Durante is the next name on the list.
So Dante versus whoever we will see next.
So these are the Swiss pairings for week 1. The tournament officially begins tomorrow. Feel free to schedule your matches as soon as you figure out who you're facing. FaceBro is the next name on our list. And I'm out of room on this piece of paper.
Well, you better make room because there is Minochi 85. And it looks like Bullard is finally activating his flute after having a little bit of a failed attempt earlier.
He's bad. Now, this is one of those names that you would not like to see your name to be the next one on the list, right?
100% yes.
I don't know. I don't want to see my name on the list next either.
Yeah, let's see what Hype Cave has.
This is gonna be fun. Todex Machina.
There's Justin C versus JJ Miyashia. Christopher Walken versus Scatter. And Bacon, who doesn't like bacon, versus Ridley Dragon.
So who does Justin Z face against, and who did Willard just pick up?
Willard just picked up Trenter TR, I believe. Our tracker
Justin Z versus Jay Meisher. That's who it is.
Yep, keeping us on track here, as always. And we see Space Cowboy 2011 here.
And that's who's going to be facing off against Trotter.
Yep.
There's going to be a list. Don't worry. There's going to be a list. Next name. Coming up. I Spoke Meth Daily 69, a.k.a. Fat Girls Need Love.
Our good old friend. And we're getting a swaggy Ice Rod Land Molas here from Willard, showing off as much as he can with all the equipment that he has.
And Meth is going to be racing off against Walking Eye.
Oh, that should be another good matchup. And buying some bombs and finding out that Skull Woods and Desert Palace are both of our fairy crystals here, at least on Ben's side of the seed. Remember, these guys are obviously playing on 2 different seeds here.
2 different seeds, and that these guys are going to be having to not necessarily... Well, they are going to have to beat them because there's going to be names in those locations. But the big thing is that these guys have to get to 256.
Yep, that is the goal.
Oh god, Andy's name is still to be found.
Yeah.
That's right. Spooty Biscuit.
Number 76 here on Ben's side. So we're moving up in the numbers, slowly but surely. Getting a nice Mire first room here from Willard with all those whiz robes. Really not a fan of that room.
Neither am I. Ben heading in here, and he's going to be pulling off the next name. Spooty Biscuit faces off against Randomizer or whatever. I long names that go more than one line are my downfall.
Yeah, they're hard. The Ranubis the something. Renubris the beard, apparently. Okay, thank you, dude. You are the master of keeping track of stuff. And there we got Glan. Discoverer of the Glan, Googlich, and Pod.
And Willard's going to be coming across the next name. So Glan's opponent in week 1 is going to be Myth 197. I like the fact that they're both in dungeon at this point.
Yeah, this is nice to watch.
It's a little slower for us. TJ Tiffahart, number 78, picked up from Ben, the next name on our list. Who's going to be in that annoying Misery Mire big key chest?
Yeah, I'm curious too. Gotten a few locations for names that aren't too popular with people usually, and this is Lightyear.
One of the qualifiers out of my group in the secondary tournament of the Open last fall. Player you're going to have to watch out for.
Absolutely.
No, we have not seen X-Rock's name yet. I'm waiting for the next name to be pulled up. It's going to be by Willard coming here, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be Willard. And the next name is Drakari. And it'll be facing off against the Benjinator. And the next one here.
Oh, there's ACMLM on Ben's side. I think I didn't quite pick up the name that Willard picked up in that spike chest there.
It wasn't yours.
It was not mine, I remember that, thankfully.
It's Winer right then. Zero Rush is the next name.
There's Fiore, and Willard is gonna attempt to hover and fail immediately.
He's bad. He's bad. Zero Rush Fiore is going to be a really good match.
I agree. There's Dawn Veneer in the Ice Palace. Willard picking up all the extra cash that he can.
No, it is Swanerator going up against ACMLM. Benjinator's up against Drakari. Donovan, you're going up against Scrub Casual. I wonder if they're a casual scrub.
I don't know. You know, don't judge a book by its cover, I guess.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that for any of these pairings. All the qualifiers belong to the 8 people in the open brackets, plus the top 4 from the secondary tournament. They will not have to play until we get to the brackets coming up in May. Buzz Thunder, the next name pulled.
Yep. Ben showing off a very nice bomb jump there over the little gap, now falling down. Probably going to open up the big chest, show us our next name. While Willard is heading into the Vitreous fight.
Buzz Thunder facing off against Badger.
That looked more complicated than it ended up being at first.
I looked at it, I saw 3 Badgers. So this race is to determine who is facing off against each other in the upcoming spring tournament. And we got Crazy Sunshine at Misery Mire. That doesn't belong. Like, I can understand the Buzz Thunder aspect if that was in Mire. But Sunshine in Mire?
Yeah, a little strange maybe after you open it up. Looks kind of sunny-ish, maybe.
Yeah, after you use the required medallion. So Coldster's going to drop the next name for us. And that'll be Crazy Sunshine's next name, opponent, and it's going to be Cindy.
Yep, grabbing a green pendant as well. I wonder which name Sahasrala is going to have.
Oh, that's interesting. Ziny versus Crazy Sunshine, Buzz Thunder against Badger. Guitar Girls, the next name pulled. And Guitar Girl is going to be facing off against Yumi Tsubi, B- the next name.
Here's 242 Baker facing off against, been barely picking it up for Will, Nihon Tiger, and that was Aneklum something? Didn't quite catch that.
B-Sign versus Who 42 Baker, Niho versus Anaklo. Yumi Tsubi facing off against the Guitar Girl, Kova 46, the next name drawn. Fat Homie is the opponent for Kobe.
Yep. And there's Tear.
I could make a joke, but it's irrelevant. I could make a joke, but it's irrelevant. Sorry, Yumi Tsubi. Yeah. My goodness, I'm just having a rough go at it here. And I'm supposed to be naming off names. Tear facing off against Nin Taylor.
Pryor facing off against Teeth Blau. And who is that last name here in the Take Any? It is Liminality Carb, who is going to be facing off against whoever is in Agina's cave on Willard's side, most likely.
Liminality Carb facing off against the name that we're about to see. Pulling it up here is Willard. Walter 4.
Pan going for the drastic measures here in the mini Moldorm cave.
Oh, drastic times call for drastic measures. Naylene versus Elminster.
Crimson Avix facing off against Silly Kyle. That's a good name. Ooh, and there's our friend Jet. He is going to be facing off against Bad Moons that Willard just picked out of Ice Rock Cave on his side of the seed.
He's setting up for the water dash.
Mm-hmm. Sure looks like it.
So while he's setting that up, Naylene versus Elminster RTA, Crimson Avix versus Silly Kyle, Jet 082 against Bad Moons. Those are the last three pairings we have seen drawn.
Looks like these guys are switching places a little bit. It is now time for Willard to get his shield eaten first and foremost, and then to head into Ice Palace while Ben is heading into Pod on his seed. He's going to turn in his green pendant, which I'm curious about.
He's not going to do it the easy way here. He's going to go check these first three in the back. And it is going to be Hansen against Matt 7898.
Yep, and there's Sigmason versus... Name is going to show up in a second here.
It is going to be SMBAI. Gus is the next name, John.
Yep, Gus currently waiting for his opponent. His or her, I should say.
Gus is going to be waiting for a moment.
Yeah, both runners here opening up dungeons or heading into dungeons. It's going to be a little bit before they head off to the next chest, even though Ben is already there, and he's picking up Elpist K31.
And look at him go with the Canis and Mario strats, trying to fake out this, trying to use it this guy's. This is a very painful strat, but it does work. If you use the Canis and Mario against, or not the Canis and Mario, the Cana Burna against the Staphos Knights.
Yeah, you need one full magic bar with the cane. Oh, there's Sakura Tsubasa. Who is she going to face off against?
I never want my dream of seeing both Tsubasas going up against each other.
Looks like it's Dr. Keely XO.
Well, they didn't want to use the bomb because he was saving it for the bomb jump.
Yep, he is currently at 0 bombs. As you were saying earlier, Rick, he shouldn't have wasted all those bombs in Pod. Or, just buy some new ones with all the money that he has.
Yeah, and here's Ben pulling off a trick that we've learned here. This is the bottle trick in the Palace of Darkness, where if you use a bottle in the room prior to those mimics, you can adjust the camera so that you can move those mimics aside and get to these two chests without the bow. Logic still requires you to have the bow for it, but it's a way to skip it so that you don't have to do it. Padwang is the next name. And it is pointing out that it is a legal move. And I didn't see whose Willard's name was.
That was D7, and on Ben's side we obviously had Parisian player. Here we have Xerox.
So it's Padwang versus D-Sit, Parisian player versus Xerox, Newbie 404, the next name pulled.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was pointing out, that trick there about the bottle has been deemed legal by the admin pile. Here's we get load pill here as the next name up.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Ben. That little mini Helmosaur is such a pain in the butt.
He is.
Okay, that was Doku Horror's Miss, I believe, and Odin's pack on Ben's side here.
Wood failing the bomb jump. So Odin's back versus Daku Hero. And we got KJB the Hero facing off against Boss Crab.
Ooh, a boss crab. That sounds dangerous. We've got Azurel Speed facing off against the other chest here on Ben's side. It's Emlyn.
Stinger PA, the next name, while waiting their opponent. And what I love about this is that there's a whole bunch of names that I haven't seen before. This is obviously their first tournament with us. And it's good to see that they are joining us for these things. Lunchtime Ath is the next name drawn. That's Stinger PA's opponent.
Yeah, I'm absolutely super happy about seeing all these new names and people trying their luck in tournaments and joining our community. There's Duran 71421.
As memorable of a zip code as 90210.
Yeah, sadly.
Zelnus is the opponent here for Durand.
Yep.
Fat Homie, you're facing off against Kova 46 in the first round of the Swiss tournament.
All right, now Ben making his way down to Helmosaur King while Willard drops into the Cold Stare fight.
No to LT Gray. We have not seen El Tigre's name pop up. I haven't seen your name pop up, Perf. You haven't seen my name pop up. They're to come.
Yep, we're still waiting on those. Willard showing us a beautiful Cold Stare fight here. And there is the name we were just talking about. That is Andy Rondak Rake, my wonderful co-commentator today.
I had to face the person that's Helmosaur. God damn.
Seems fair to me, you know, boss versus boss. But maybe Willard gets that green pendant in before Ben defeats Helmosaur.
Oh, please don't pull Andy. Please don't pull Andy. Please don't pull Andy.
All right, the next name is going to decide it. Now I'm excited, even more so than before.
I like cotton candy, but I didn't want to be at Cold Stare.
Well, that's how it goes. In the world of Rando, you have no say. And it looks like Willard will be handing in that green pendant before.
Yeah, he's going to be there first.
His fight. Uh-oh, so Willard, what opponent are you giving Rick here?
Name.
Kata. Alright, personally haven't heard of that person yet, but I'll be curious.
I'm losing to them. Ozzy Pone is the next name.
Ozzy Nakanashi. There's Despin.
Isn't even my final form. Well, thank you, Ben, for being slower at Helmosaur than Willard is getting to the green pendant turned in.
Yeah, I think you might have dodged one there. Not to discredit your opponent that you got, but it isn't even my final form. That's not an easy first round matchup.
And that's an appropriate name for Helmosaur, by the way.
Yeah, very true.
Tim Lobo, the next name, pulled up, facing off against Scooter.
Who else can Willard find here in the Hype Cave? It's KY Cats 86.
Bet they're a Wildcats fan.
There's Cerberoth. Ooh, TGH. That's
God. Ooh. And they're going to be facing off against Ignite Drowlets.
There's Valkyria Tiara. Currently awaiting their opponent.
Isn't it funny that Willard, who has made himself known to be a Wildcats fan, gets the Wildcat reference?
That is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. There's
Aliens is going to be Valkyrie's opponent. Nikki Noel is the next name, John.
Getting a K45 check here from Willard. Let's see who is hiding south of the Grove, and it is Alder Z.
Aliens is facing off against Valkyrie. Special thanks once again to Dude who's been tracking all these things as we move along throughout this entire run. So we've got the next name pulled up here. That's Chloe Prower versus Alucard. Oh, that's good.
Yep, and as the numbers just showed, we're currently 30 items apart between Ben and Willard. Ben being in the lead here on number 120, while Willard pulls out number 91, which is Rywak.
So the next name that is drawn is going to be Rywak's opponent coming up here in the first round of the Link to the Past Randomizer Spring Tournament, which, by the way, I should point out, just in case you guys didn't know and you're tuning in for the first time wondering what's going on here, this tournament here in the spring is going to be a standard tournament with randomized swords, which means that there's not a guarantee of a sword at the uncle, but you are going to get a weapon that gets you through the castle. We have 512 names that we are drawing right now in this run, as Ben gets to the Armos Knights, and Willard is drawing... You may not actually get the envelope if he doesn't hurry it up. And Punchy Darcy gets the benefit of getting Rywak there because of the slower dig time for Willard.
Yeah, Willard just, being a little too artsy there.
And this just continues to show out that these runners do not know. This is not being planned who they're facing off against.
Alright, so AC28 versus whoever Ben can fish out of this cave. Wait, why is it going in there?
Actually, AC28 already has a name pulled up. This is the next pairing here. Bent Glass Tube will be facing off against the next name, John.
Oh, okay. Oh man, Pika Pals. That is, I'm glad that's out of the pool. There's OSS Geek. And Willard actually shows us my favorite NPC in the whole game.
The drummer?
Yeah, that little drummer guy is such a bro.
Can you get the 64?
Very nice. Aces the Arrow game sadly doesn't get a name for that, but still.
Well, it's good to see him actually playing this.
And it looks like it's Swamp time for Ben.
So Osgeek facing off against Fahida Knight. And next name here from Willard, we have Koblala.
And here we get our second soggy name of the day.
Actually, technically, isn't this the third because of the catfish, Jigheart?
Oh, you're right. Of course, that's the third. So Jigheart, our third soggy name, as you rightfully pointed out. There's
Zyrek's name. And he'll be facing off as SMP 89.
Here we've got Sailor Jade on Ben's side, number 128. So we are at the halfway point for Ben here.
Yeah, the Jade, one of the names infamous here in the fall tournament because they played in the tied match.
Mm-hmm.
Darkened Sky will be Sailor Jade's opponent. Osgeek, you got Fahida Knight. And Lunchtime Off, after I saw your name pop up, it was Stinger PA is going to be your opponent. Seven Sins, no, your name has not been picked just yet.
Willard also making short work of the hammer packs here, while Ben making the rest of his way through Swamp Palace. Let's see what ticket we get from Willard.
And P-Train 24 will be facing off against this name on the right-hand side. He's just a boy.
Just a boy.
Next name coming up from Willard J. Bradley is going to be Gamer Cal.
Ooh, Gamer Cal. Currently waiting for his matchup. Gamer Cal nets us a bomb on the chest that his name was in.
Gamer Cal, one of the people who knows their stuff in this game, is one of the pioneers for coming across the Jesus Dash with the boots, finding it out from Skull Woods. Fox Zero is going to be Gamer Cal's opponent. There's already a few matches that I have as marquee matches for week one. That's one of them. Yuki Saka, the 100th name drawn for Willard J. Bradley.
Yep.
And Yuki Saka will be facing off Rageland.
Willard shooting a sword beam. Oh, there's Doom Tap for Ben. Willard shooting a sword beam after the Kakariko.
How rude. Doom Tap is going to be facing off against Ruble.
Ooh, shout outs to my friend Ruble. Ruble earns a quake from Willard. There There's triple Z in the big chest.
I'm on page number 2, or paper number 2 of the names I'm jotting down. I'm running out of room here.
We're barely at the halfway point, if even, Rick. I think you need to prepare some more paper.
I'm going to have to. West Side Vandal, the next name drawn. And so Zarby89 will be facing off against this next name drawn by Ben, who picked up on the right-hand side, Time Wanderer.
All right, Time Wanderer, and here's our next match. Jesus, Desert Eagle 417.
Desert Eagle facing off against Cannonball Krebo.
There's T-Roo on Willard's side, who is going to be picking up the next name almost immediately. And it's Goggles.
We got Argus.
And it's such a pleasure to see if it works out right. Sometimes Argus just doesn't cooperate right. Yeah, and just for anyone who might have missed their name or anything like that, obviously the matchups will be updated until launch later and will be made public for everybody, so don't worry, this isn't the only chance you'll ever have to find out your first round matchup. And that was the name of Gonspore on Argus here for Ben.
And he'll be facing off against the next name that Willer J. Bradley picks up coming up in this next room. If you notice, the runners have keys as they go into dungeons. That's part of how they get it. Gamer Guy 888 is going to the opponent for Gonspore.
Yeah, just to give a short explanation again, these guys have all the items from the beginning as well as all the keys that they need for the dungeon, so all those chests can be used for names. And there have also been 14 select any houses been added, or caves, whatever you want to call them, which usually you would select one of, but in this case they each have 3 names that we can all pick up. So that is 14 times 3. I'm not going to do
like
math
this
on.
room right here.
Yeah, like this one. There you go,
Mentos
Man. The Profi Gamer, and lastly, Riku Player in this Take All room.
So the next name that we have is going to be coming up on Willard's side. It'll be coming up in this chest to the right of the, or to the left of the maiden. And that's Gweck.
And that's Lacunery, and the next name is Artemis versus JTB. There was Terrans in the big chest in Thieves Town for Willard.
So the opponents there, Mentos Man 8 versus the Prof Gamer, Raikou Player versus Gweck, Lacunery versus Artemis, JTB versus Terrence. Still no Herfy Durfy. Willard going, he's going to go the Altered Palette strats.
Yeah, it's gonna look a little weird, but oh so much fun.
Your name hasn't popped up just yet there, Roach. We're still looking for the can of bug spray. And the next name we have pulled up here is Vascos.
Vasco's number 109 for Willard. Meanwhile, Ben is now going to be finishing up Meyer as well here.
So Ben going north, and Vasco's opponent's going to be a Cashin. Willard heading over towards Skull Woods.
Yep, as Ben is about to take a little break here, waiting for that wall to move.
And the next name up is going to be Cassie Daimoyan.
Here we got Salty Fry on Ben's side. I think that was just a matchup, right?
Yep, Cassie Daimoyan versus Salty Fry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to find out who's on the pedestal.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous here with my name still being at large.
Unfit. Why do people want Andy's to be on the pedestal for?
I have no idea.
He's going to be in the hover chest.
And remember, guys, these names weren't pre-placed, so really anyone could be on pedestal or anyway. We got Ginger Damas here.
Unfit versus Ginger Damas, that is the next pairing. Oh, Beast Rats. Ramil Gaming. And they'll be facing off against Illis 24, I believe that was.
Yep, that's right. There's Violet Pumpkin on Willard's side, dropping from Moth after the bee did most of the work, admittedly.
Violet Pumpkin facing off against Carmody. We still got a few more minutes here before we get to the pedestal pull, because whether Jay Bradley needs to still pick up this name that's coming up in this next chest.
Mm-hmm.
Still some great names out there that haven't seen yet. And it's getting more and more interesting as we come across this as T-Stew 14 pops up.
Yep.
And now, here we go. What name do you think is going to be on the pedestal?
I don't know. I hope it's not me. A small key to the kingdom.
To the kingdom, huh?
That's interesting. Willard decides not to pull it.
There's the foolery.
Well, guess we're not finding out quite yet.
So T-Stew 14 will be facing off against this name drawn here, and it's Aria.
Yep, and that marks the second pendant over on Ben's side.
Dr. Marty O has been found for Willard. You may need a doctor after skipping that pedestal.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Solidus SRL is up against Mardio here, and we've got Nif Boy and Mega Patches.
All right, who's in the big chest? Well, we've got Number Play versus Liam Atlas.
Yep, that's quite the matchup.
Boo Boo MC.
And Zero Canada. And on band side, we've got Julo Ninja.
I think that's Julio Ninja.
Oh, yeah. That makes even more sense.
And Notch 212. Lenny's. Gets the next opponent's name that we're going to be drawing here, likely to be seen from Ben first before Willard pulls up his next name.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce or Brew Crew. And Dynasty versus Silvero.
Yep.
Don't make me think about what we're going to be going through when we get to Ganon's Tower.
Oh, yeah, it's only going to be more fun the more chests are next to each other.
And the next name drawn. Withheld. So Withheld's opponent is likely going to be drawn. I would have to assume it's going to be Willard who draws it first, but the way that Ben goes against Lamola is going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, as far as I know, Ben has quite the interesting strat here.
So what we're doing here is we're drawing the names for the week 1 of the Swiss tournament. There we go.
Very nice.
Willard's going to pull the name for Withheld, and it's going to be facing off Ephraim.
And on Ben's side, we've got Pokedude 14.
So Withheld versus Ephraim. Pokedude is going to be facing off the next opponent that we draw. Watch, you're the one who's at the pedestal there, Herfy.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Aren't you feeling anxious already?
A little bit, I have to say. I mean, you know, we're quite a few names in already. There's still Andy and a couple other big names out there, and there's still me somewhere.
There's Willard J. Bradley.
Oh, that's one of them. Willard J. hiding out in the checkerboard cave on Van Seed.
And who's the 4th and final Sage name? Kippy. So Pokedude versus Willard J. Bradley in week 1.
Yeah, that's going to be one to watch for sure.
Kippy is going to be facing off against Megawatt. Next name pulled is Hezukitty.
versus Centroid 41.
You know, I love seeing Hazukitty in this tournament here after seeing the growth in the fall tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hazukitty is a great success story, I almost want to call it, of, you know, starting out not really knowing much about the randomizer, just having fun playing, joining the last tournament, and really improving and signing right up for the next one as well.
Now, the thing is that Willard J. Bradley doesn't have the opportunity to pull off Ben's name because Ben is not eligible for the Swiss round, being eligible for the brackets because of his positioning in the fall tournament. Arier is the next name, John.
To be honest, I'm a little sad that Willard doesn't get to draw his own name and opponent, but, you know, good enough.
And Dunham and Rainbow Poggle is going to be the next name, John.
Yep.
So Arier versus Dunham, and then Rainbow Poggle facing off against Climbing Coder.
That seems complicated, coding while climbing. And then he wants to play rando as well on top of everything?
Maybe he's climbing Death Mountain while he's coding.
Oh man. You're way beyond me here, Rick.
Yoshi348. The next name, John. We'll be facing off against DAO.
Meanwhile, Willard is dragging the big bomb over to the pyramid. Let's see who is hiding out at the pyramid ferry for him.
He's not faced off against Dagenham yet.
Nope, he sure hasn't.
Thank you for blowing the flute while you were in here, Ben.
I've been playing us some music in case the dungeon music isn't enough. Okay, we're also getting a pyramid check from Willard, which obviously is another name.
Survey says we got Act the Bunker.
Ooh, Ack. Who is he going up against? Nope,
we're not going to find out just yet.
First.
Act the Bunker is going to be facing against Ralph is my name. And we got Ninban facing off against Quern. Ninban's going to be one of our great helpers in this upcoming tournament, just like you are, Herfy.
Yeah, shout out to all my mod colleagues here helping out behind the scenes. And of course also the admin team and everyone else involved.
I don't deserve the shout-outs, but I appreciate
it. You do. You certainly do, my good sir. And we've got Wolfie83.
Wolfie versus whoever Willard pulls up in this next room. And that is Killer App 23.
Oh man, that is a matchup. We've got Zeds.
Wow, that may be one of the more marquee Week 1 matches.
Absolutely.
Zeds is going to be facing off against Willard. Willard. Now he's just playing us. So let's face off against Lyra.
There we go. Finally get the opponent. No matter how good Ben is, he can't kill blind that fast, even with Willard dragging his feet here.
That's what you give with a scripted fight.
There we go.
And the next name we find is going to be Backaballer.
So that means Ben has now also picked up all 3 of his pendants, so theoretically he could be pulling the pedestal first. Or he could also be reading that it's a small key to Hyrule Castle and leave again, I guess.
Well, welcome to School Woods. Population Ben. Backaballer waiting to find out who they face in this first week. And guess who he faces?
Oh god.
Herfy Durfy!
I'm not sure I'm happy about this, but we'll see, I suppose.
Fant, the next name drawn. Backaballer versus Herfy Durfy in week 1. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks. Definitely gonna need that.
Well, at least it wasn't Andy.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, look at this,
Oh.
Ben. You're hovering too. You're gonna pull Andy's name now, aren't you? No, Paxaw. Oh, that could be good.
Oh, they could definitely be good. And just here, I want to give commendations to Ben with his hover attempt succeeding as opposed to a little hover attempt from Willard we saw in Meyer earlier.
Next name drawn is going to be Hacksaw's opponent.
Yep, and more than likely it will be from Ben's side here, already coming up on the chest.
And it's going to be Lavos Cloud. Well, it didn't attempt to hover. He did more of a swan dive into the pit. I have to agree with you.
I mean,
That's exactly what he did.
I know it's true. It's not untrue. It looked like a hover attempt, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe he was just trolling us like he did with the pedestal.
Look at Ben go. Cheer God.
Oh man, I wish my torch rooms in Skullwoods looked anything close to that.
All right, Ben. You're facing a bug. Willard, you're doing something. I don't know what you're doing. Are you going to finally visit the Take Any's? Well, we're going to find the name Elmagus versus the Dragon Feeny.
Ooh, that is not an easy matchup for Feeny there. There's Shaw versus...
Fate Fire 9. And Ed Hammond. Hynux actually wants to be a lawyer, huh?
Too bad he bombed the exam.
There's your pun of the day. You missed it from Blind earlier. Here. Oh, Ben's doing the same thing that Werther did.
Oh man, I can't
Come
believe
on!
this. I like that he took an extra lap around it at least.
These guys know we want to see it.
Of course.
I have no name.
Yep, I have no name. You know, at this point, I'm almost willing to bet that the pedestal is going to be the very last ticket we're going to see from both of these guys.
Could be. Trank versus Makenix. That could be an interesting match.
Mm-hmm.
And OPT Lawyer. Gets to face off against Claris.com.
There's Scary Olive, and they face off against Dark Faults. I think Ben was like half a second earlier there.
Dark Falls was first, Little Sharky's next.
Mm-hmm.
Hippos! There's Hippo's name.
Oh boy.
And that's a tough match right there.
Oh, Willard juking us again.
Doesn't really matter at this point. These two are going to be facing off against each other unless he waits long enough.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your pairing right there. Arbor versus Orva. And we got Phantom Ryu, man.
All right, who is he facing off against? And he's facing
Phantom
off.
Ryu is going up against Ace Zero. Super Josh, and who's he facing off against?
That is a hack spam. Also of note here is that Ben is going to be our first runner to make the trip up to Death Mountain, immediately going into the Spike Cave.
Valky, Terrar, your name was? I'll give you the information in just a moment. Gloin TV is going to be facing off against the next name, John. Sloth Monster.
Alright, Glowing TV versus Sloth Monster and Epic Yoshi versus Austin D. Will. Here we've got Prince Buffoon while Ben is spin speeding out of Spike Cave.
Prince Buffoon versus Zephyr. F. Coughlin faces against Gilf.
And we've got Karaoke facing off against Falling from the Skies. It is Brewer's Fan JP, and C. Falcon will be facing off against the last name down in the well here, which is Jay Wanders.
So F. Coughlin versus Glythe. Karaoke versus Brewer's Fan JP. C. Falcon versus Jay Wanders. Next name coming up here is Sage Lord.
And he will be facing Jedab. we got Toast.
How many O's are in Toast?
3 apparently.
I need to come up with more than the Lost Carol is their opponent.
And we've got 7 Sims. He will be facing off, or they will be facing off against. I'm assuming we're going to see the next name from Ben here first. Nope, never mind. Forgot about that chest.
Whether Jay Bradley pulls Myrna. Myrna.
Yeah, I got nothing there. Here's my favorite girl for Rain, facing off against Bright Wolves.
And we've got the next name on the board is Claes Hayabusa.
Yeah, facing off against Blue Dolphin. And here we got IR Gojira versus X-Rock. I missed that one name that Ben picked up first.
Dark Dylan was the name you missed.
Ah, Dark Dylan, right. Dawning Arc and Chex Human here is the last 2 name in the Paradox Cave.
This is where it gets interesting because of how fast these guys are drawing names. J.C. Strickland is the next name. He'll be facing off against the next opponent drawn. My records has Corito versus Chex Human, Darning Dark versus X-Rock.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Willard is finally heading back to Pedestal. Nope, he's picking up the mushroom spot, which is Krippe.
Are we going to get that pedestal now? Are we really going to get that pedestal now? Twitch Corner. We are getting a bomb at the pedestal. Come on!
Yep, we're not getting that pedestal check quite yet.
These guys have to know who's on the pedestal.
Yeah, there's something fishy about this.
Twitch Corner facing off against the next name drawn. That's Cross Product.
Ooh, Cross Product. Maker of a great tracker as well as an old staple of the community, I would say. And Zeal versus Asheria. There's Ben Teasy, and he's facing off against Shady Force.
Easy Shady Force. That's going to be an interesting match right there.
Mm-hmm.
Hookshot Cave. What do we got inside? The first name drawn. Callie. Or Callie T.
And there is
G2 Kemps.
Yep. Almost at 200 names. We've got Smite, LP. There's a Stark Replica here.
And we got Space Cat Universe. So we've got Space Cat going up against Janice Zeal. Troy will be facing off against the next name drawn. And that name is going to be Estragono.
And on the floating island for Ben, we have It's Supercar.
still have yet to see some big names in this tournament. Ben, this is not EG. This is no major glitches. Please do not try to clip into the rocks. We are waiting to find out who its supercar will face off, and that name is going to be Herfy Durfy. Give it to me.
It is Roxas 232, found in the Bonk Rocks next to Sanctuary by Willard J. Bradley here. Well, Ben opens up his second to last dungeon. Gonna be heading into Turtle Rock, full clearing everything out of there. Then we're gonna be off to Hera, and after Hera we can step right into that mirror hole and end up right in front of GT. Grab our last few names, and then more than likely see the Pedestal as our name number 256 on Ben's side here.
It is going to be for Willard. We got S Diesel versus Invictus, or rather.
And again, just a reminder, because I see some confusion in chat, after this is done, the seeding on Challenge will be updated. So if you missed your matchup, or if you just want to look at who is matched up against who, you can look at everything on Challenge as soon as we're done updating that.
Yeah, because I'm not going to resort to my 4 pages I've got filled out right now while I'm keeping everything at least noted for me and myself here. Mm-hmm. So the next name drawn is Edgeworth.
Yep, and Edgeworth is gonna be up against El Tigre.
That will be an interesting name. We have not seen Andy's name just yet. We're still hunting down his eyes. The next name drawn.
And there's Glentie on the old man. Wonder what he was doing with them.
Same thing Phantom Ryu was doing.
I better not ask any further questions.
No further questions, Your Honor. Glentie will be facing off against someone.
Yeah, we don't quite know who, but it will be someone.
And then we got Lena Fist. And well, they're trying to do a bomb jump. He's bad, but I think he may have this one. He does.
Very nice. Let's see who we have in the Turtle Rock Vanilla Big Key chest here. The lava chest often skipped.
Leno Fist is going to be facing off against... I'll let you name that one.
I think that's Ayo, it's Vin. Here we got Jagaro on top of Spectacle Rock for Willard.
I actually think that would be a nice name. Yeah, that works. Ayo, it's Vin. Thank you.
Sure.
Darrow faces off against this next name drawn. We have the Vinyl Knight. For those who haven't seen their names drawn just yet, how nervous are you? Trident Tail.
And here we are also seeing our first Mimic cave from Ben. Who is hiding with the Mimics today?
Ainzadama Yama is going to be the next name drawn.
That is Karnath FD in the Mimic Cave. While Willard is checking out the tile room in the basement of Hera. Let's see which strategy he decides on.
Don't worry, Arius. We'll get a rematch coming up in week number 2. Don't you worry. Indecisive Ninja. And the next name here is Catastrophe. And Catastrophe is going to be facing off against this opponent that Willard is going to be pulling in just a moment. And that name is Ace McBadass.
Also kind of interesting to see that Willard decided to do Tower of Hera before Turtle Rock, while Ben decided to do Turtle Rock before Tower of Hera as our last dungeon. Just, you know, a tiny bit of difference that doesn't really matter too much.
And we have Melphis.
Name number 210, only 46 locations left for Ben here. There's Sedan, number 211. Got Leslie Pro and Alpha Channel as our next two names. And Dustin and Maligord.
So just to recap there, that's Karmath versus Indecisive Ninja, Catastrophe versus Ace McBadass, Malvis versus Sedan, Leslie Pro versus Alpha Channel, Dustin versus Maligord.
Yep. All right, Trolldorm versus Trinex here. It is Final Flame on Willard's side.
And let's see what Trinex has in store for us, as Willard J is going to be heading on over towards the, I would believe at this point, the Spike Cave, but Ben is going to be pulling his name next. So Final Flame 83 is going to be facing off against Samurai Man.
All right.
And then we finally get to Recitador's name.
There is Recitador.
So Samurai Man versus Final Flame, that's going to be a very interesting matchup here.
Yeah, I think despite the extreme number of participants in this, we've still got quite a few very, very interesting matchups just for week number 1 already.
Well, we got this name coming up, and I'm going to see who pulls it up first. Well, apparently Willard finds a Fairy Fountain, not one of the take-ins he thought he was going to go to. Ben pulls X-Ice Blue. That's Recitador's opponent. And we have Strizer 86. And Strizer's going to be facing off against this middle name drawn, Lord of the Synth.
Yep, and our next matchup is going to be Verchick. And they're going to be facing off against Skipsy.
We are over 400 names. We are down, getting close to the final 100.
Yeah, I have to be honest, now that I've been drawn, I'm mainly curious about these guys finding all the locations. I could see us being here for a little bit for the last 10 or so names.
Next name drawn is Fat Boy Bull 300. Be facing off against Melstara.
There is Hitsuyan 1337, and they're going to be facing off against Maxi Mini.
I know I can't bowl 300.
I certainly can. I'm terrible at bowling.
Same here. Restolia, the next name drawn.
There's Bradley. And there's a fellow mod, Felix TC, up against Fentalis, I believe.
That would be correct. And we get Jinja 23.
Oh, fellow German.
So just to recap right now, Miley Star going up against Fat Boy 300, Werf Jig versus Skip C, Strider 86 versus Lord of the Sith, Hitkin versus Maximi, Restola versus Bradley, Felix TC versus Fentalis, Jenga 23 waiting on this name right here, that's CDV.
And then we got Berenson. Oh man, Ben getting knocked down here. Berenson is going to be facing Flipstone 14. And there we go, gets his revenge on the good old Trolldorm.
And he pulls up the next name, and that's Mayoki. Mayoki will be facing off against this one here, which is Song Leaves.
Mr. Johnny Spot will be facing off against the last name in this cave, and it is Korak.
Okay, now that's gonna get a little interesting for us here, because Ben is going into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, this will be a lot of locations in quick succession, but thankfully Ben's been very nice to us and been waiting a little bit after he picks up a name, so I think we should be fine getting through this.
So the next name drawn is going to be the first in the pairing. Wither J. Bradley coming to a take any. So we've got I'm Hugh Bliss versus Maybe or Not.
Yep. We've got the Lane versus Mikan's box. And that's Kenny32 waiting on what's happening in what looks to be the tile room for Ben first.
And he's going to go to the cave stretch right now. So just to confirm, Mr. Johnny Set versus Korak, I'm Hugh Bliss versus Maybe or Not, the Lane versus Macon Box, and Kenny32 awaits this next pairing here that Willard is going to pull up, and that name is Fulligen.
Fulligen number 200.
And over on the right-hand side, we got Blaine. Blaine faces off against Scooby D.
Oh, Ben.
And Ben coming out of his cave just in time to get beamed, and there's Tiddu shit. Okay, there's going to be a lot of chests coming up here. Also, don't mind if we butcher your names. I do apologize, but we're hoping to get a pronunciation guide in time for the races to begin. There's the single arrow.
One single arrow found just before we find Barney FF. There's Dog D93 and Will WC. 30 more names left for Ben here.
Stay tuned, by the way, coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern here on Speed Gaming, we're going to have an interactive race. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're going to be pulling up Dragon Cove was the first name that popped up. Reg is the next name to pop up, and they'll be facing up in IU Husky. Husky, rather.
Yeah, this will be interesting here. 2 rooms full of chests. First, we've got Nakachu versus Troopster and Flaffykins is going to be facing Hyde Flowmain. Oh, I missed the name on Ben's side.
Yeah, these guys are going to slow it down when they're in these rooms that have multiple chests like this. Seabass coming up as the next thing. Troopster versus Flaffykins. Mananical versus
There's Junior. Oh, Tazaron was the name I missed. Okay, looks like Dude's got it covered for the most part, thankfully.
next team Tron. We have Voidborn Beast. Shazami is the next name.
There's Roach and Strumpet Player. We've got Haradi Man and Big Dunka. Okay, coming up on Bob's chest now while Willard is checking the Super Bunny Cave. There's Do Games.
Games. Well, we know how to pronounce that one. Icarus is the next name, John. Icarus versus BBB Kermit. We have Zebra Unicorn facing off against Exit Zero.
And we've got Data World waiting for their opponent, which will be in the Hookshot Cave for Willard here, and it is Demon RHK.
And Jacobs for Life versus Fantasia.
Infested Frogman. Coming up against Mijati.
Whose name haven't we seen yet? Shout it out in chat if you're still waiting on your name.
Yeah, we still got a couple locations left. We're still looking for Andy, something everyone is fearing currently.
Jam Evil. Very well known in the Zelda 1 community, as well as well known playing Zelda during marathons. He's a name I don't want to see go up against Andy, but maybe he will. We're going to be a while until we get to the next name.
Yeah, there's not too many chests here right now. I guess, well, after Landmo 2 and once Willard gets into Turtle Rock, we're going to be seeing some more names, but it's still a room or two away. Then again,
Just going to point out, don't forget, coming up in a little bit, we are going to have, in one of those interactive bit races here on Speed Gaming, Kelsey versus the Dragon Feeny. That begins at 8 o'clock Eastern here on Speed Gaming. Get your bids, watch those hands, load them up, and make those two go through hell in a handbasket.
yeah, I can only recommend watching and participating in one of those. There's Jan the Gun in the first chest of Turtle Rock for Willard.
Yeah, that's going to be Jam Evil's opponent. Name drawn is Hyphen. And speaking of Kelpsy,
Yep, there is her name.
so Hyphen and Kelpsy, and we get Siderio. Facing off against Dragus Cloud. And there's D. Brum. Okay, let's find out who's in this chest. This Moldorm 2 chest. And we have Taku. So D-Brum versus Tanku is the next opponent coming up here in the first week of the Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. There's Patty.
Yep, there's
God.
Patty.
Oh,
man.
God.
Does that mean?
Or are we going to get the Andy next? Are we going to get the Andy next?
At first, we're going to see an Agatu here from Ben.
Who here wants Patty and Andy the next Andy the next name drawn?
All right, here we go. We're going to find out in a second. It is going to be in the Turtle Rock Vanilla Big Key chest for Willard.
Patty's opponent is going to be the OK Guy. Oh, wow, that's a nasty matchup.
Ooh. That is quite a heavy hitter. Alright, so Ben successfully defeating Agatu is now on his way looking for the last couple of places that he hasn't quite checked yet. I think he's in the 230s, maybe even in the 40s already.
He's going to go check out this Tekeni. Yeah, the next name drawn is going to be Lyra. versus Magius. Deviux.
There we go. DVOX, name number 249. So 7 names left. I think we've got one left on the pedestal. So 6 names to find, which I believe should be 2 take any's that Ben hasn't quite checked yet.
We're finding Phyllian.
I'm filing yet another mod buddy here. Who is he going to be up against in the first round of this tournament?
Pedestal time is here. Are we going to dance around it this time? Willard pulls up the next name. Yoinker's wife.
I wonder if Yoinker is also in this then.
Maybe we'll be pulling his name off the pedestal.
We will see. We are finally getting that pedestal pull, at least from Ben's side.
And the name, Medivo.
Alright, 6 more names left here for Ben.
Willard pulls Cruel. That's not how you spell Andy? Well, I'm sorry. That's the way it goes.
And it looks like, as I was predicting, Ben, not really sure what he's missing. He knows that he's missing 6 names, but he's not sure where he's missing them.
And so Weather J. Bradley now heading over here. Pulling up this. Solsky is going to be Cruel's opponent. That's a good match.
That is a really good match. Oh, man.
Next name drawn. 227 Old Man Sunshine.
Yet more sunshine to go around here.
Facing off against Fife. And then we get Zephyr. So Weather J. Bradley going to be heading on over towards the Trinix fight. And don't forget, Weather J. Bradley still has to go through Ganon's tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Willard definitely has a couple of names left to check. Ben is currently probably just making sure that he hasn't forgot anything crazy and that we're not missing any names at the end there, so no worries about him.
So Zephyr is sitting here and wondering who his opponent is going to be. And Zephyr will be facing off against this name in this envelope. And it turns out to be Adamant Stick.
So we see Willard now heading over to Ganon's tower with the last crystal that he just picked up. Gonna be quite a bunch of chests in there left for him to check. I believe 27 in total.
That's correct.
Oh, and it looks like the reboot of Ben has finished.
Yes, it has. I am going to apologize for butchering people's names, including Uda's. Again, this will prove why we need a pronunciation guide, and there's 3 of the names that Ben has missed. And the first of the 3 names turns out to be Andy!
Oh, and there he is.
facing off against JLo 7.
Oh man. We've got Zenobian here waiting for his opponent.
You gotta give JLo 7 a little bit more of a chance than just saying immediately rip. I know JLo 7 plays these things a lot. Can't count
Absolutely.
any runners out, honestly.
No, you really can't, especially not in Rando.
So the way this works is that these runners will not have to face off against Ganon. This will be done as soon as they pull out ticker number 256.
Yes.
But here's one of the things that Ben had missed. This chest down here, which is not the guaranteed key like it normally would have been. Snack is going to be the opponent for Zenobian. And I have a feeling I know what Ben missed.
Oh yeah, what's your guess here?
Pyramid Fairy. We saw it on
Oh.
Willard's side. We have not seen it on Ben's side.
That is a very good point, and that's exactly the two names that he might be missing. Yeah, there's a couple of guys in here who are still waiting to be picked, but as we said earlier, Willard still has a bunch of chests here in GT to go. There's still two names on Ben's side, and then there's probably a couple of spots that Willard also has to check still. I think we're at around the 230 mark on Willard's side right now. I'm not quite sure.
Conster is going to be the next name drawn, and we're waiting to see who their opponent is going to be. On the left-hand side, we have Trailty. And Acetaz facing off against Quiz Bowl, and that's name number 256 there for Ben.
Yep, which means Ben is officially done with his side of the seat. He can now do what he wants. It looks like he might want to finish off Ganon. Willard picking up a red boomerang in the chest before Moldor 2. Let's see what he can grab out of the chest after Moldor 2.
Toiso.
Toiso.
And because he has not grabbed the final of the names here, he's got 22 names still to draw. 23, rather.
We've got Manuel 1907 and Slowpoke 316. Apparently Ganon is invincible. He has none of any of this here.
As Willard heads on through here and lights up the torches, he will have at least 3 names, if not 4. I think he's already found all his specialties.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ben was out of magic.
So Slowpoke facing off against Takazi. Then we have Raspberry Floof against Hunter Seeker. And then finally we got Bloody Ninja Cat.
Yep. And Ben is going to finish up on what he started on earlier on, that nice little Cukeman there.
He's all done. He's got all 256 names, so he has no reason to do that. He's just doing this all for fun at this point.
Yeah, I assume we're going to see some more fancy things from Ben here. We've got Areas 13 on the Torch and Gannis Tower for Willard.
Yeah, they'll be facing off against Blood Ninja in the first week of this Swiss tournament, which officially begins tomorrow here. You'll be seeing many of the races here on Speed Gaming, as well as over on our helpful stations over on ALTTP Randomizer. And Ben is going to be visiting the Houlihan room.
Yeah, probably wants to read that little Triforce plate there in the back.
So we got Sabatender coming up. And there's your Randomizer tournament winners. AJ Neb. Oyster, the opponent coming up. And Katozi.
Facing off against Lanxian.
We have 6 more pairings up to go.
Yep, we've almost made it through, guys. There's Vitor.
Vitor!
One of the last few names here.
And don't forget, there is a name on the pedestal.
Yeah, Willard has given us the runaround with the pedestal twice already, but he still hasn't pulled it. I hope he hasn't forgotten about it at this point.
I think I know where Ben is heading. There's a single arrow for Willard. Nice place for it.
Ooh, and Ben casually gets the God Pixel there in the Hellway. Just
Of course he does.
Right through.
There's your secondary tournament winner, by the way. It's in Thievestown.
Mm-hmm.
With Zane's name up there. And the original plan was to have Zane and Ben doing this, as Zane was going to be doing the left side and Ben was going to be doing the right side here. And it didn't turn out to be. Zane was unable to do so. Some failures as Vitorp's opponent.
Yep, and there's Soul Devourer. Going to be facing off against Bite-Sized BK.
And then D-Spags number 249.
Yep, we're down to our last 7 names. Still a couple of chests here to come. As you mentioned earlier, the pedestal also still left. And I'm going to assume Willard missed maybe one Take Any, or maybe also the Skullwoods pinball room.
No, you got the pinball room.
Oh, okay.
Willard does have to get the tower room still. But congratulations to all the winners, Ben and Zane, of the tournament so far. And should be a fun tournament coming up here. Just a reminder of the format. It's going to be a 7-round Swiss tournament with the winners of 5, 6, and 7 matches, they will all be moving on to a 128-person bracket. The top 8 from the Fall Open Tournament and the Primary Tournament, plus the final 4 of the Secondary Tournament, all will have first round, or they will all advance to that part of the tournament. DKS89 is the name that's going to be facing up against D-Spags.
Yep, we're down to our last 6 names, our last 3 matchups.
So the players there that finished in the top 8 in the primary, the final 4 of the secondary tournament, they have a bye. They would not have to play in the Swiss, so we are not going to be seeing Christos' name. We're not going to be seeing Ben's name. We're not going to be seeing Zane or Dudes. They all got buys into the next round of this tournament. So they get the 7-week break. Everyone else is going to be clawing and trying to fight their way to win 5, 6, or 7 so they can qualify for the brackets. I don't think Willard did. I don't think Willard went to. Yeah, Willard did not go to the Armos night. So that's 4 chests right there. He's got the 3 there at the Armos plus the big key chest.
Oh, this is going to be close for Willard here. Oh,
he's fine.
Nope,
no, he's not. He's dead.
Yep, he's dead.
He's bad.
Fairy? I'm not sure. Nope, he doesn't. Alright, so we're going back to Ice Armos. Probably the long way.
Ben should just go ahead and talk to all the NPCs at this point. I've got to learn that boomerang strat.
Yeah, I can do it in the first room, but never in the second one.
I can't do it in either one of them. I just usually do Samaria strats.
Yeah, I do too, to be honest. At least I know what I'm getting with a cane block.
So we're just waiting for the final 4 names to be drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a document there that you guys can go ahead and check. There's another chest right there. And that's got a ticket for Dragon Strike 1988. So 5 names to go. And that makes sense. You got the 4 here. You get the 3 behind the Armos plus the big chest. And
Please,
here we
Willard.
go. Boomerang strats.
Please, Willard.
Well, we're just trying to keep things interesting until we get to the 8 o'clock interactive race, and I hope you can stay tuned for that. Kelpsy versus the Dragon Feeny, another one of the bit races. So store up your bits and make sure that you send both of those runners through hell and back as you guys interact, throw your bits around and make them do things like ice physics and take away their rupees and other various things coming up. That's coming up beginning at 8 o'clock here on Speed Gaming.
Please keep in mind, guys, that a boomerang hit does 1 damage each to one of these Armos Knights. Okay, he's finally switching over.
Hey, we got a banana.
Yep, we're getting a banana. There we go. Looks like Willard was finally tired of it as well.
And Scientee is the next name drawn at number 252. We'll be facing Futon. No, that's not right. All right. It's Scientee will be against Dragon Strike. Futon will be facing off against Gaming with a Wrath.
There's Futon, one of the last names to be picked there. I'm sure Willard is giggling at that, especially since he made the Ice Almost fight especially slow.
Well, we got the big chest here, and then we got the pedestal.
Yep. Willard's setting up for the Death Warp. It's
Emu-Saru.
Emu-Saru.
Oh, goodness. So who is Emu-Saru facing? The answer on the pedestal.
Whoever is left on the pedestal there will be Emo's opponent in the first Swiss round.
So I hope somebody has been keeping track of the 511 names that we have seen so far, so they can tell us immediately who that 512th name is going to be.
Yeah, if someone did keep track of all of that and knows who's left.
But we are going to find out in just a moment. Come on, Willard, check the pedestal for us.
Yep, we're finally going back. Eating some apples on the way to fill up our hearts.
What kind of apples are these?
I don't know. Hyrule apples?
Hyrule apples. They may be tangy.
Possibly. Alright, here we go. Who is going to be the last name? It has to be Amatsu DF, apparently. Getting some more bombs.
Just pull the pedestal. There we go.
Oh, with explosions and fireworks, making it as fancy as possible.
And Jaxus is the last name drawn for number
And there's
256.
Jax's. Alright, so that are all of our 512 runners.
So with that being said, that is our 256 pairings for the upcoming Link to the Past Randomizer Spring Tournament. We do our best to broadcast as many of them as we possibly can with Speed Gaming and also on the ALTTP Randomizer. Obviously, it's all dependent on schedules and the people who may be available to help restream the races. A big shout out to the many people we're going to have come in and help us out, either they be restreamers or trackers or commentary. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some great matchups here for week one. Let's get them all scheduled and let's see how they work.
Yep. Thanks for joining us here, guys. It was a blast being able to commentate this. It was quite the challenge sometimes keeping up with all the names. I hope you didn't mind us butchering some of yours. And please stay tuned, as we were saying, for the interactive race coming up here in 20 minutes. It's going to be a blast. Dragon Feeney running against Kelpsy, I believe, right?
Yep, Kelsey versus the Dragon Feeney.
There we go. So save your bits, spend them on those two ladies, and make them go through hell. All right. Thanks to everyone who helped set this up. Thanks to VTorp and everyone else who worked on this seat, making this possible. Thanks to the dude keeping track of everything. And of course, thanks to Rick for commentating this with me. It was a pleasure as always.
Absolutely been a lot of fun. Look forward to doing some more with you as we move along in this tournament.
Yep, definitely. So that's going to be it from us. Stick around, and we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
And once again, stay tuned. Interactive race coming up next in 20 minutes here on Speed Gaming.